It's terrific, and we're now going to do something pretty exciting, which is ask you all to, including Pavel, to bear with us for one moment while we welcome back Alfonso Cuarón, Yorgos Lanthimos, Spike Lee, Adam McKay, and Pavel Polakowski to the center of the stage. Come on, guys, let's go. They're keeping you waiting. Here we go. Here we go. Sorry.
Next to you, but share the love.
Thank you all again for sticking around. Take this in. You will not see this anywhere else. I would like to begin by asking you guys, just sort of gauging how well you know each other. And I wonder if we can begin with the two people who this year made black and white, non-English language movies about their parents that are being distributed by streaming services. Alfonso and Pavel, I think you do actually go back quite a way and actually influence each other's work. You're in each other's credits. How did this happen?
Oh, I don't know. We met 18 years ago, or 20 or something. Influence is too much said. But we like each other's work and we kind of show each other stuff. And I don't know. And we kind of similar age, you know. I think I'm a bit older. So we hit the kind of black and white phase roughly around the same time.
We through the years we share ideas and screenplays and stuff, and he's mean, he's bad.
But Pavel sort of leaned on you to tell this story, right? Or I've heard that one of you guys, you were doing a prehistoric.
Oh yeah, I killed that project because
this is going to be about.
He destroyed it.
It was very expensive. I think it was.
No, it was not expensive. I guess it's good. It's good. I guess I don't know. It's not my thing. It's like
no, it didn't work. I was just being polite. You know, it's not my thing.
We're not polite.
Well, so and the rest of you guys, I got to see you in the green room interacting a little bit. And I know, and actually on the way in, Adam, you were saying how thrilling it is in a way to meet Spike Lee. I don't know if it maybe not meet, but to be with Spike Lee. Where does that come from?
I was 18 years old, and She's Gotta Have It came out, and it just rocked my world. And we would go to every Spike Lee movie that came out, like that Friday. My friends and I would go, and I was telling someone this the other day. We went to see School Days, and we were like, wow, it was a great movie, and we walked out, and I was like, I didn't quite get it, though. And my two white friends and I were like, I don't think that was for us. But I swear to God, I have seen every Spike Lee movie on every opening Friday my entire life.
Thank you.
He is a large part of the reason that I'm here, without a doubt.
That's great.
Thank you.
Spike, Yorgos, do you know the rest of these folks before this evening?
Oh, I don't have any friends here. But I made new friends.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. My brother Alfonso, we become close during this whole thing, and I mean, we had the same sensibilities, and I'm honored to be, I want to tell everyone, I'm honored to be on stage with you. You're all great filmmakers. And, you know, this is a tough motherfucking business. People,
I actually know Yorgos.
This is not easy. It's hard to make a horrible film. This is blood, sweat, and tears, and we all do it because We love what we're doing. I might speak for everybody right here, and we're blessed because, you know, majority of the people on this earth go to their grave having worked a job they hated. And when you can make a living doing what you love, you won,
Yeah.
I think.
Yorgos, I hear that's what you said is not quite true because Adam McKay says he's a friend of yours from way back.
I, about 22 years ago, was in Greece and felt a little out of place. And I was on the beach, and a tall, sort of chunky, bearded man came up and said, "Can I help you? This is called parasailing." And it was Yorgos. And
What?
No, I don't know. Totally bullshitting. I've never met him. He's one of my favorite filmmakers, but that never happened. He had a bronze tan. He was smoking a Turkish cigarette. He commanded the beach.
He went by Zorba back then. Okay, so I want to quickly go down the line here and ask you each, who was the collaborator on the film for which you're nominated this year who you could have least afforded to lose? The person who you sort of depended on the most on this project. Adam, start us off, please.
Well, there were a lot. Clearly, Christian Bale, Greg Fraser, my DP, but I would say one guy. I would say Hank Corwin, my editor.
Great editor.
He is special. He is a unique vision. He has a unique vision about editing. He's done Tree of Life. He did Natural Born Killers. He's done all these amazing JFK. We knew we wanted to make a movie that was off balance. I jokingly called him the Lighthouse because we would be there for 12 hours a day and he would just stand there and he would do brilliant editing every day. So that's my guy.
That's a great one. Pavel.
I suppose my lead actress, you know, Joanna, who is kind of the film is unthinkable without her.
Yeah.
So I suppose, but just in a practical way, my DP with whom I was very close, Łukasz, who I've known from my previous film and who was just kind of there, available and collaborating all the time. So these two.
Terrific. Alfonso.
I lost who I could not afford to lose. That was Chivo.
Yeah.
You know? So,
Right.
yeah. But then definitely Jalitza
Yeah.
and Marinetta Vira,
Yeah, great.
the two actresses.
Yorgos.
Well, I have to say 3 actresses.
Okay, we're cheating here. We're getting.
But it's true. I mean, if I have to, separate them a little bit, I mean, because it was a reality, Olivia, we did have to wait at some point, and we postponed the film in order for Olivia to be able to be in the film, and I was, certain that I couldn't make the film without her,
Right.
and so we did wait for her. So
That's great.
I would say be Maya. Again, this is a very tough question to choose one person because we all know it's a team and one mess up could topple everything. But since you stated the question, I have to go with my co-writer, Kevin Wilmot, my co-writer.
He's great, and yeah, terrific. And you guys have worked together before on Chirac.
Yes.
Yeah. I would like to ask. We're not gonna. You guys have been busy the last few months. Maybe you haven't seen everybody else's movie up here yet, but I imagine that you've seen at least one of the other films up here. And so this time, starting with Spike, I wonder if you can tell us one thing about one of the other people's movies up here that you were most impressed by or envied the most.
Well, I could do 2 real quick.
All right.
This brother right here asked about the water scene, how many takes that was, and I've never met Adam before. When I saw him first time, I asked him,
Yeah.
where did that brilliant idea come from of the narrator being the one?
Who the narrator is. In case some people may not have seen it yet, Spike.
Yeah, okay.
All right.
Well, it'll be a spoiler alert.
Yeah.
If they didn't see it, they're late.
That's right.
So, I mean, first I called him Hank. I don't care if it's a spoiler alert. Dick Cheney had a heart transplant. And so this whole movie, there's this narrator. I'm like, who is this guy?
That's right.
I cannot understand where he fit in this picture. And then he gets hit by a car.
All right.
And then you see his heart. That's motherfucking genius. I'm sorry.
Yorgos, one thing that you most were struck by or envy that you look at and say, I wish I could do that.
Well, I've seen Alfonso's film for sure. Why do you look scared? We're supposed to say a good thing.
Now you can talk.
Yeah, that's what I thought the question is. We're not. Which was the worst film that you saw?
Not about.
Well, Alfonso's was pretty terrible. No, but I mean, like that scene that that you saw part of. You know, it's just incredible. The scene that she goes into the water to search for the kids, and technically, emotionally, you know, the whole thing, how it works. But also, well, can I say two things?
Sure.
The whole sequence with the fire in the forest is just both real and magical at the same time, and yeah, it's just some amazing stuff.
Alfonso.
Surprise this man. That's a tough one because you say, what's the thing that I would love to do and what I...
That you look at and you say, you're sort of awed that it's
but you
possible.
know what happens is that every time I see somebody's work that I admire, my thought is, I wish I could do something like that. You know, and happens, I told you when I saw your film, that is the way in which you blend so effortless all this humor with the subject matter, and you make it feel like a whole universe. First time we met, and this is before even me seeing the favorite, says, how do you do that? You know, is this weirdness, you know, that and the economy of the economy of that you have of you can tell a story that takes place is 20 years maybe 15 years in 85 minutes in which you just go from one event into the other one and you don't miss anything in the middle, you know. And then Adam,
Don't cheat. Don't go for everyone.
sorry Adam, sorry Adam.
Oh, go for it.
You can finish.
Go.
You can finish.
Come
No,
on.
it's just how he takes this whole, and again, we were talking about how you go into this thing that is already kind of hyper, putting the, you know, like this reality that we know is tragic, but turning it into some sort of a romp. But at the same time, you have this essay going on through the whole thing. It's just, I see that stuff, and every time, because I don't know what happens to you, or to you, for me happens is I finish my film, I'm so sick of it. And then I just want to...
You know why? Because you shot it, you edited it, you directed, and you wrote it.
It's worse. Then I have to watch it.
Then you gotta.
All right, we are going to enforce the one-item rule for Pavel and Adam, because there are other questions we want to cover. Pavel.
So I'll be quick.
Okay,
I
all
don't
right.
know any of these.
Okay.
No, I love all of them so different, and thank God. It was great. It's great to have this bunch of people. I love the easy, loose-wristed kind of approach and tone of your film, Spike. It's really, I just really enjoyed it, you know, which is it's very rare to actually enjoy a film.
Yes.
Yorgos,
doing it.
I love the. It was fantastic. You have it's a Baroque world, and you let the actors act in a Baroque way, and it's such a joy. You know, I tend to like oppress my actors. You know, I stop acting, whereas he had a really good excuse to let them act, and they did a great job. You know, they're wonderful actors. And this man is a Stakhanov of cinema. What he achieved, Stakhanov was a famous Soviet worker who beat all the norms of, you know.
That's a Pavel reference.
No, it's amazing what he achieved. The combination of the small scale and the big scale, how that works, and some of these shots in the hospital, in the streets, the seaside. It's just amazing, and I just admire the achievement. You know, how the fuck did you pull it off? You know? Anyway, we'll read a book about it sometimes. Yeah. And in your film, I love the kind of the anarchic editing, the freedom, and just the fact that it's so, you know, it's about politics, but it's fun. You know? So it was great, and the actors were fantastic. I mean, we had some really wonderful actors.
I'm going to mix it up. I'm going to talk about what I love about Scott. He's neatly dressed. He's professional. He researches. And that's not to be downplayed. No, these are obviously incredible filmmakers. I think what Spike does, as he was saying, that sort of casual, loose, mixed with elegant filmmaking. That's what I love about Spike's filmmaking, is that there's an elegance to it, yet at the same time kind of a comfort to it. And I gotta say, Yorgos, the rot you showed in inherited power, inherited wealth, the sense of disease and like people almost losing their mind. It reminded me of like Death in Venice, you know, the famous book, like where that rot kind of happens. And Jesus, I mean, the shot, we were talking about this before, the shot that I love from Roma is the one through the window where it's in the furniture store and the lettering is on the window and you see the riot going on outside. I feel like that one shot kind of sums up modern civilization. Like capitalism, you only see a piece of it, and yet like a life going on was amazing. And Pavel, I love the, oh my God, the musical numbers just fucking killed me. I'm sorry, I don't mean to curse. They killed me every single time I saw them. And my favorite moment in the movie was when they were like, hey, can you do a song about Stalin? And they're like, and then you go right to a song about Stalin, which... We're living in America now. That felt a little familiar. And then, Scott, you're sharp, you're attentive. No.
We're going to do one final thing before we bring a close to this great evening, and that is to highlight a great 2018 film that is not represented up here tonight. I know that there can only be 5. But that's sort of an arbitrary thing, and you guys are all in a position to give a pretty important endorsement to, maybe it's a smaller movie from the last year, maybe it's a non-English language movie, whatever it is, that deserves to be more appreciated maybe than it has been. So we can go in any order you want, but if somebody has one that comes to mind right away, jump right in.
One that pops into mind right away, but I don't know if I'm right on the year, was Leave No Trace from last year?
It was this year, this 2018, that's right.
Oh,
yeah.
I love that movie.
Deborah Granick.
Oh, my God. I love movies that get into like a subculture in a world you don't know about, and to acknowledge veterans. And Ben Foster's performance in that is unbelievable. That is and what was her movie before that? Was
Winter's Bone with Jennifer Lawrence.
Jesus. Yeah. I love that movie. I just thought there was a rawness and an openness to that movie that just blew me away. And it had a very small release, but I would recommend anyone wanting to see a really great movie, Leave No Trace is really good.
Deborah Granick, yeah. Anyone else? Pavel.
I loved an Italian film by a woman director, Alice Rohrwacher, Lazzaro Felice. It's a beautiful film by a beautiful director. She has a poetry all of her own, and it's a lovely story that's neither realist nor fantasy. It's a kind of just a unique thing that this does, and so I recommend it wholeheartedly. Happy as Lazaro is the English title.
I second that. I was going to say that too.
Really? Wow.
And I would add Zama by Lucretia Martel.
Yeah.
It was also an amazing filmmaker.
Lucretia
and
Martel, yeah.
Did this period film, which is completely surreal at the same time. And yeah, Zama, Lucretia Martel.
Yeah.
It's for the Best Picture.
Just a movie you loved.
Could it be a film that didn't come out this year?
Recent, though.
Well, it was a long time ago. It's a Danish film called Land of Mine.
Yeah.
No one saw it?
Yeah, I think it was nominated for the Oscars maybe 2 years ago.
Nominated,
2 years
something
ago.
that wasn't nominated.
Well, that's the film I'm talking about.
Land of Mine.
Because I did not know about it. Hitler thought that the Allies would come to Denmark instead of Normandy. And so they put down a crazy amount of number of mines. At the end of the war, Hitler was sending kids 15, 16 years old to fight because that's all they had left. And at the war ended, they had these, before they were told to go home, they had to get the mines off the shore of Denmark. And this film, because I never heard about it, and I've seen it 3 times. In fact, I called the director today.
Wow.
He lives in Copenhagen. I got his number from Sony Classics. I had to tell this guy, you made a great film. I mean, he thought I was an imposter. But the suspense of this film, where one step and you could be blown up. And it was, that film really has had an effect on me.
Alfonso, you're up.
Yeah, I like that
Saw
film
it?
too. Yes, I
I
like
didn't even
that.
know, I just saw like
How'd you
2
come
weeks
upon
ago.
it? Where'd you hear about it from?
Someone said you need to see this film.
Yeah, yeah.
And someone who, when they tell me I need to see a film, like, I listen to this.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Said, don't sleep on this one, and I did.
It's kind of like if Alfonso Cuarón said, you got to see the movie. Which would that movie be?
I haven't seen Lazarus, everybody's raving about it. I like Leave No Trace. I mean, Coreda, Shoplifters is
great.
nominated.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Is nominated. But I like Incredibles too.
Yeah, that's great.
Incredibles, too.
Well, I want to.
It's not fun, I like it. I love
Yeah.
it.
Thank you guys all for an incredible evening. And now to close us out, please welcome the executive director of the Santa Barbara International Film Festival, Roger Durling.
Thank you. And I need to acknowledge Scott Feinberg. What a masterful moderating. And you've been doing this for a few years and you own it, and I love it. I love you for it. This is by far, people, look at this lineup of directors here. This lineup in front of you is without a doubt a freaking amazing lineup of risk-taking, push envelope, take no prisoners group of artists. You 5 make a case for cinema as art. Although I wish there were women included. Although I wish there were women included amongst you, I cherish and celebrate that all of you together is the best fuck you Trump artistic lineup. I mean, you have a Greek director, you have a Polish director, you have a Mexican director without a wall. There was no wall. You have a black director, and you have a director who's willing to make a biting political satire. We need your voices more than ever. We don't need a freaking wall. Pablo, Cold War has such bittersweet emotional impact. Your film made me swoon. Two people, two worlds swirling and colliding through time, fatefully meant and condemned to love one another. I was blown away when I saw your film. McKay, Adam, you have the balls to humanize one of the most controversial figures in recent history, and you push the boundaries of cinema, even adding Shakespeare, and provoke thought, and never forgetting to entertain us through humor. Yorgos grabbing a period piece and making a surreal modern version of All About Eve, where decadence and avarice and longing for power is its own punishment. It's the way we are today, sadly. And I admire your style and the fact that you got three amazing actresses to do three incredible performances. Spike Lee, Mr. Lee, master genius. Spike Lee. This film lover worships the ground you walk on. I cannot believe this is your first Oscar for Best Director. Did the Academy ever see Do the Right Thing? Did the Academy ever see Malcolm X? You're one of the greatest directors ever, period. And Alfonso, your most personal film about memory, your most personal film is also the most political film, the most political social statement, a complex, multi-layer experience. And I speak personally that tú me llamaste, bueno, yo trabajé contigo Julio, y estaba en un momento que no muy bueno psicológicamente y profesionalmente, y trabajar contigo verdaderamente me ha dado una increíble fuerza, pasión, y te agradezco todo lo que has hecho por mí. It is my great honor to name you all Outstanding Directors of the Year, and thank you for all of you for being here. Yeah. You're not going empty-handed. There is like... Thank you to all of them. Thank you all for being here.